I would like to warn you to beware of any automated robot. I've tried numerous ones and I've really not found one that works. They may work for a short time, then they stop working. But extremely irritating is this newest one I just made the mistake of purchasing. It's by the company Wall Street Forex Robot. They're always putting out new robots. And I actually had the Wall Street Forex robot previously, and that kind of blew out an account just about. I mean, it did very poorly, and so I disconnected it. I stopped using it. Well, I now just purchased this Volatility Factor, had it for a few weeks. It started off doing fairly well, but then it just started having drawdowns, as you can see here. And the big drawdown it just had, they're not even showing. These charts are manipulated. It's showing you're up 13% for the month. I'm down about 4% for the month. It's showing this week it's up 3%. It's definitely down about 5 or 10% for the week. And today it's up slightly, which I'll show you in a minute what my charts have done, what my trades have done. But it's not reliable. I don't know how they can do it, but they manipulate these charts. You can't depend on them. It's totally dishonest. If you look in their order history, it's showing pretty good stuff here. A small loss. And what they do is they often, if they're in a losing trade, they'll continue to back into the trade every few pips. And so you end up with 4 open losing trades. The biggest trade will be like a 100 pip loss. That's the problem with these people. They take a very small profit, just normally single digit pip profit, and they're not showing this, which is frustrating. But when you take a loss, you're basically taking almost a 100 pip loss on some of these. Yesterday, they just took a 100 pip loss, and they don't show that, which really irritates me. But here's a 100 pip loss. I mean, look at these tiny gains. Look at that. And then you just get a few losses. It wipes out a whole week of gains. And that's the problem with this volatility factor. It's way out of sync. And again, the people aren't dishonest. They're not showing you the facts. Again, they're not showing this latest 100 pip loss, which would put you way down for the month. But they're not showing this. It's just frustrating. And I didn't think charts on these profit targets on my FX book could be manipulated, but they can. So you can't depend on my FX book. You're not seeing accurate profit and losses. These people can make it look much, much better than what it is. Now here I'm showing my chart, the last big loss. Again, they were in a losing trade. A few pips later, they backed into that trade again, and they would have backed in 2 more times, but I redid my settings so they could only back in twice because of my bad experience I had previously. But look at their history. They lost $2, and it's a tiny but loss, tiny gain, tiny gain, tiny gain, tiny gain, huge loss, huge loss. And that's the problem with this. My FX book, they have huge loss and tiny gains. Again, tiny gain. Uh, it's just ridiculous. Small gain. This I did myself. This was one of my trades. So you can't. No, this is their trade. So again, it was a little better gain. But here again, you get a bigger loss. And this is typical of my FX book. But the problem is they're not showing you this. You look at their charts, it makes them look very good. It's just not reliable at all. It's just a lot more losses than wins. But somehow they're manipulating these charts to make it look like, wow, you're doing pretty well. You're not doing well. You're doing terrible. Again, here again, big losses, big losses, big losses. Here's where they backed into the trade 4 times because they were losing. They kept doing another position, so you had 4 losing trades. It's ridiculous. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I would recommend to stay away from this volatility factor program or any of the programs that Wall Street Forex Robot offers because they just don't appear to be reliable at all. And again, with my experience with Forex robots, I would say really stay away from them because they really don't seem to work. They maybe work for a short time, but the markets change and they don't seem to adjust these things with the market conditions. So you end up losing money. Again, if you look at the chart, you can actually see where they did show a few of their losses in the yellow, but the latest loss they're certainly not showing. If they would have shown this latest loss, they'd probably be down quite a bit for the month. They're showing they're up 13% for the month. They'd probably be down about 5% now with this last big loss they had. Especially, I only was in 2 positions. I wouldn't let them piggyback me in four losing trades, but they probably piggybacked 4 losing trades. They probably lost 100 pips down to maybe 40 or 50 pips in the last trade. So it was a pretty substantial loss. But again, these charts don't show it. They're not updated yet to the 30th. But again, their history of trades does not show that either. So again, beware. I just don't think these are reliable people. Take care. Hope this helps. God bless.